So normally I don't do Saturday videos, but I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention, and I don't want this to take an actual video slot for the following week. In my last, I think it was 2 videos, there was actually a decent amount of ruling mix-ups and screw-ups on my part that I take full responsibility for. Having a channel like this, I want to bring you guys, obviously, the correct rulings, the correct gameplay. I never want it's never my intention to purposely screw up or, lead you guys on the wrong path. I think I've made that clear in other videos. And I pride myself on knowing how to play this game. Unfortunately, there were things that have been brought to my attention, mostly by Collector Keebler. Shout out to him for pointing out these things that I unfortunately just overlooked, 2 of which are just reading on my part. I clearly just misread cards. I've done this twice with one of these cards, and the other one I guess I just never really thought too much about. 2 of them are things that I just wasn't aware of, and the last one is something that never really I don't know, I never really took it into consideration until I read over what he had said, and then I asked one of my good friends, Josh Bavarnik, shout out to him. He's actually a really big Konami head judge. He's done a few nationals. I think he judged Worlds once. Just to clarify, not that I don't think Keebler is wrong at all, but it's just one of those things where, like, every now and then I like to double and triple check through other people just to make sure. And they all agreed with Keebler on all this stuff. And it's not that, again, like, Keebler, from what I remember, has connections to Matt Bell, who I believe, don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, but he's very high up in Konami. I'm not sure if he's a rep or he works on Speed Duels within the company directly or something like that. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact that he's the head honcho of all of this. So whatever he says goes. But back to what I was saying. So I used to run like 4 videos a week on this channel way back in the beginning, every Monday through Thursday. When I first started that channel, at the time, I had just recently quit my job, and I had all the free time in the world to make videos. Nowadays, when I make a video lineup for a specific week, I tend to do all my videos the same day, because my current schedule, between work and real life and everything else that goes on in my life, doesn't make it easy for me to make 3 separate videos during the week. But I don't like doing less than that, because I think, first of all, I think you guys deserve it, and second of all, like, I love doing this stuff. So to me, it wouldn't, I don't know, less than 3 videos. Occasionally I'll do 2, but if you guys remember, way back in, I think, the beginning of this year, and a little bit towards the end of last year, I was only putting out a video like once every week or once every other week or something, because I had little to no time to put my time and attention towards my channel. It was always like last on my list of things that I needed to do. And those were also really tough times too, pre-COVID. So like, thanks to COVID, I've been able to, use a lot of the time that I had to start the channel back up. And even though I'm, again, working and stuff, like, I've been able to incorporate, this current system I got going into my daily or weekly schedule. So, I make these videos, the point I'm trying to make is that I make these videos mostly all the same day for the next following week, unless it's like a news update that, just comes out or something. So my Duel videos basically all get recorded the same day or the same 2 days. So I never have and they get uploaded, preemptively. So what happens in the Wednesday video with the Amazon versus the Moth deck also happens in the Friday video, which was the Burn versus the Moth deck. And Keebler made the point in both videos that I did the same thing. Like, I did the same screw up. And to be fair, I could have taken down the Friday video and then re-uploaded it or redone it or whatever. But I actually never even got a chance to look at the comments to any of my videos until today. So seeing everything and being like, oh, okay, Wednesday's video got screwed up by this, and this. Oh, cool, Friday's video got screwed up by the same two things, but I hadn't had a chance to go back and check them. Like, that just simply comes down to the fact that I only do this like once or twice a week. So if it happened in the first video, chances are it was going to also happen in the second and third video. Just because I mostly record them all at the same time, so. But instead of addressing it in the comments like I usually do, or whatever, I figure instead I make a video about it, showing you guys exactly where I screwed up, what I screwed up on, what I plan on, rectifying in the future, so to speak. But also, from now on, I'm going to pay a lot closer attention to like these Discord channels and stuff that have these rulings, because I need to not have this happen in the future. It needs to just be fixed from the get-go. I can't have this. It actually pains me. Not the comments. It pains me to see all the comments of where I screwed up every single time. But I'm not saying don't do that, guys. I'm saying thank you for doing that. I need to focus more and fix my own mistakes before they ever happen. So basically, I just need to know the rulings for everything so that this stuff doesn't keep coming up in future videos. But let's go over these things real quick. Starting with the Wednesday video, which was Moth vs. Amazons, and here is Keebler's. I screenshotted everything. So, going over this one by one. Wild Tornado on Zoma at 10:15 wasn't legal. It says to target a face-up card in the spell and trap zone. Zoma was in the monster zone at that point. It's interesting because this is one thing that I would regard as one of the things I just didn't read correctly. It's hilarious because I never considered that for some reason. Yeah, it's not in the spawn trap zone, it's in the monster zone. And that's just my bad on misreading the card. I don't know why I never thought of that. Which actually just skews my entire view on Wild Tornado right now, because it's like, well, with that logic, I've been siding it this whole time for Zomas and Nightmare Wheels, but at that point I probably should just side Twister, because at least Twister hits both. I don't know. I guess it never occurred to me that, Zoma is a continuous trap card, but it's in the monster zone, so yeah, Wild Tornado doesn't work in this situation. In the future, I guess I'm going to be running more Twisters. But the second thing, and I think I'm going out of order here, going to the bottom here, where it says at 30 minutes in, can't Dust Tornado your own spell and traps, because it says target a spell and trap your opponent controls. This is something I've screwed up in another video, and I don't know why I do this, because it does say that, and I think I just always read it as MST and I don't think about it, but this is my bad. Like, that's something that's inexcusable. I need to just read my cards a little bit better, which I don't know. I don't know how I screwed that up, but I've done that before, so it pains me that I did it again, because that's just simple reading. And so is Wild Tornado. But Wild Tornado, I don't know, in my head it was like, well, it's almost a face-up spell and trap card. But it has to be in the spell and trap zone. So those two are things that are just me reading. The first thing that I was not aware of, and Matt Bell, man, I'm literally going to use your Discord for all my ruling things in the future. I guess I should have always been doing that, but it just never occurred to me. There's a lot of question and answers, FAQs that he has in there that just are mind-blowingly fantastic. It's always a painful experience to try to find the correct rulings when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Anything. So the question in hand is, can you activate anything to your opponent summoning the moth through the skill. The answer is no, and I wasn't aware of this. And the question in the Discord, actually, Keebler actually asked the original question, which is, can you activate Adhesion Trap Hole when your opponent special summons a perfectly ultimate Grey Moth through the skill of Hyper Metamorphosis, which is the other skill that summons the moth? And the answer is no. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to the summon of a moth through a skill, because the skill's not on a chain. And that's actually mind-blowing to me. I didn't realize skills were just that powerful in speed duels. So in the same sense of Cocoon of Ultra Evolution, the skill, if you summon the moth through that, I can't floodgate it. And Keebler made the point there where he's got the multiple timestamps saying you cannot floodgate the moth summoned by the skill effect. That's crazy to me. It's insane to me that that's how it works, though it makes sense because they're not on. They don't start a chain, therefore they're not. They just happen. You could still floodgate something, let's say Paranoid's effect, where if it was sent while it was equipped and destroyed, or sent from field to grave, and they summon a moth from hand, you could floodgate there, but you can't do it through the skill. So in the same sense, the skill Fusion Party that lets you fusion summon, it's basically polymerization. You can't floodgate the fusion summoned monster because it's through the skill, and that's crazy. That's mind-blowing. And I'm so sad and sorry to you guys that I didn't actually know that, because this could have and probably would have came up in future games through other skill effects. And it just, I don't know. I never knew that. I did actually get my next question confirmed, which has nothing to do with this video or my videos, but it was on that same Discord, which was, if that's how skills work with something like that, then how does Knight of Legend work with Gaia, letting you summon it by not tribute summoning? I wasn't sure. In my opinion, it was that it wouldn't act the same, and it doesn't. Scrolling down here, here it is. Question is, when I would normal summon Gaia the Fierce Knight without tributing by applying Knight of Legend, can Champion's Vigilance be activated to negate the summon? Additionally, if the normal summon is successful, can you floodgate Trap Hole? And the answer is, when Knight of Legend applies, you can normal summon Gaia the Fierce Knight without tributing, but this normal summon is not considered to be performed by the skill, which makes sense. And that's correct, and I was correct on that, which makes sense. The skill allows you to normal summon the Gaia without tributing, but you're not summoning Gaia through the skill. The skill's not being like, hey, you can normal summon Gaia through this skill, whereas Cocoon is like, hey, send a monster on the field to the grave equipped with an equip card or an insect or whatever, and then special summon the Cocoon, or special summon the insect from your deck, ignoring in summon conditions. Like, that one makes sense. So, but then going forward to the next post, I covered the third one with the other one. I can't wild Zoma. Okay, so the 2606, so the fourth post made by Keebler. Zoma versus Zoma. Neither player takes damage. I don't quite understand the reasoning behind that one myself, but it was confirmed on Matt's server. And that is confirmed on Matt's server. Originally, I didn't get that, but thinking about it, if Zoma dies and then checks the attack of the monster that destroyed it after it dies, and the monster isn't there for it to check its attack, I guess it makes sense that it does 0. And since Zoma and Zoma, they'll both do the same thing, but the other monster won't be there because they killed each other. So yeah, I get that one. That's one of the ones where, like that I said in the beginning, where like after reading it and then thinking of it like that scenario, it's like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, there's that. So that covers the ruling discrepancies of the Wednesday video. Regarding the Friday video, Keebler posted at 11:52, if you floodgate a Zoma, it goes back to the spell and trap zone. Look up rulings for Book of Moon versus trap monsters. Unfortunately, that means Zoma can be activated again the next turn. It won't block a zone as a set monster. That's just, again, so this is just more of like my fault on just not knowing how that interaction worked. So if you floodgate the Zoma, it'll go back to the spell and trap zone. I believe in my video I set it as a monster in the monster zone, and it still took the place in the spell and trap zone. And that's just something on my part to know in the future. So there's that. And then the other post was at 1750. He explains that in the last video how you can't floodgate the moth summoned by the skill. Ignoring that, floodgate only prevents manual battle position changes. If you could floodgate that moth, Gap would force it right back into face-up attack position. Interestingly enough, it would then be stuck in attack position even after Gap is removed, since floodgate is still affecting it, preventing manual battle position changes. Gap, the Divine Soldier, is a little annoying. I was under the impression that if you floodgate a monster, it puts a condition on a monster that its battle position can't be changed, right? So it goes face down defense based off floodgate, and its battle position can't be changed. If you summoned Gap, I assumed that the condition would override Gap, and it would still be forced. It still couldn't change its battle position, so it would stay face down. But that is not the case. The best way of explaining it is, at least for me, in the situation, like, let's say, so Moth gets floodgated, setting it face down, and can't have its battle position manually changed ever. Gap's on the field or enters the field, forcing all monsters to attack mode. So if Gap's already on the field, or even if it's not already in the field, as soon as it hits the field, its effect applies because it's continuous. So the Moth will get flipped face up into attack mode, as Gap states. However, Floodgate's effect, the condition is still on the card. So that much I was right about. It's just that it can't change manually, therefore now it's stuck in attack mode. And as long as Moth that was floodgated is on the field, it's still got the restriction, so it can't change its battle position manually. But Gap was the one that flipped it. Basically, I guess I just didn't consider the manual switching a battle position over an effect changing it. So that's completely my bad, and I get that now. It's just it was a little confusing at the time, and I thought I had it right in my head, but I clearly didn't. So those are the screw-ups. But moving forward, I will try my darnest to make sure that these misplays stop. It's Yu-Gi-Oh!, so I know for a fact this won't be the last time that happens. Yu-Gi-Oh! To me has always been very convoluted in its rulings. Some of them make complete sense, and some of them make sense if you look at them one direction, but if you look at them a different direction, they completely don't make sense, and then some of them are just complete BS. But I still love this game, and I still love Speed Duels, and I definitely don't want to steer you guys the wrong way, as I've said before in the beginning of the video. So I take great pride in giving you guys the correct info, and it bothers me immensely when I screw up, and I don't want to screw up ever. So I'm sorry for that, especially for the Wednesday video. But I will try to be better in the future, and I will definitely use that Discord more often to make sure I'm doing everything correctly before it gets posted, so that I don't have to get yelled at by Keebler. One last thing, and this has nothing to do with this. This is just a mental note that I wanted to make public. I want to stop doing 30-minute videos. I never planned on making my videos so long. I've been explaining a lot more things lately, and that's what's been dragging out the time. And then, of course, the last 3 videos were all 3 match videos, so of course they were longer. But going back to the normal format next week, I'm going to try to make all my videos less than 20 minutes. I would like to make them all less than 15 minutes, but bear with me if sometimes they go over that runtime a little bit. So be expecting shorter videos. But guys, thank you for being a part of this for so long. Thank you for putting up with my crap and my screw-ups. And I promise, from here on out, it will hopefully be much smoother sailing. Maybe. Kind of. I mean, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, so. Alright guys, I'm out.